So in this training, we're going to discuss, and I'm going to blow through a lot of this pretty quick, guys, because this is actually going to be a pretty long training session. All right, and I don't want to get tied up with some of the bullshit. Okay. So with that being said, so we're going to go over some theory, some organic traffic funnels, what the heck they are, a rinse and repeat process. Okay. Niche decisions, which is one of the biggest things, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make. Domain names. There's just a couple of little things you might want to tweak in your domain buying. Your keywords, okay? On-site SEO. Once again, we're going to blow through some of the on-site SEO stuff. We're actually going to do something completely, based on just on-site SEO, because there is a lot of stuff that we can go over there, but we're not going to do it today. We're going to go over content. We're going to go over domain setup. All right, so those are the things that we are going to cover today. And if we don't hit on something that you have a question, we have the forum, okay? Try not to hit a support ticket on a question that you think other people would want to know as well. All right, so let's get into the theory. So stop thinking about the old way of doing SEO. Clear your mind, be open to a new way of thinking, all right? If you can't, then we'll get out. Yes, run, go walk the dog, go do something, go have a beer. The problem is that, me especially, we get all tied up with thinking that SEO has to be done one specific way. The way that everybody says, you got to build a site, you got to go after your main keywords, you got to build a private blog network, you need links. Well, you don't, okay? And we're going to show you. This is the second thing. Websites are disposable. And I know that that's really kind of hard for a lot of people to grasp. We buy a domain name, we fall in love with it, we take a picture of it, we bring it to bed, we cuddle with it, Frank, and we're absolutely in love with it. Well, you can't be, okay? Websites are disposable. You've seen that even with some of your private blog networks and stuff like that. Sites get hit, sites get slammed, and it's it. It's over. It's done, okay? Stop worrying about trying to get it back and everything else. Move on, all right? They're like Bic lighters, okay? Once your Bic lighter is done, you're not going to try and fill it up with gas. And this is my quote: never fall in love with a website because it will never love you back, all right? So that is my quote of the day. All right, so by owning each of the search positions, let me just see here if okay. So by owning each of the search positions or many of the positions within a SERP, the more exposure you and your offer has, okay? All the roads lead back to you. So by having, obviously, 1 out of 10, we're sitting in the number 1 spot is great, right? But there's still other options for people. 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10. And we've asked this multiple times over and over again. Where's the best place to hide a dead body? Anyone? Page 2. All right, exactly. Page 2 of Google. So a little here, a little there, it's a ton. Now, when we build out a lot of the types of websites, and you guys are familiar with the types of websites that we build out, a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to get a lot of traffic for, chiropractor in this town. You're absolutely right. You won't. But it's a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here, and that's all getting funneled to the same place. It's actually a ton. All right. So even if you have a website that has, like some of our websites, 300,000 pages, if just, one click on each page a month is 300,000 visitors to your site. Now, we don't see that sort of traffic, okay? We really don't. But, you start to get the idea, and it's all being funneled to one place. It's a lot of traffic, all right? So stop thinking about, well, this page is only going to bring me X amount. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of looking at the whole big picture. All right, so 94% of all clicks go to the organic section. 6% of the clicks will be attributed to the pay-per-click model, okay, or AdWords, all right? So this is from Google's own numbers, so we know that the organic section is the place to be 94% of the time. If you want to get hung up on the 6%, that's cool, and dump your money into it, and that's awesome, all right? But I like to concentrate on 94% of the time. So you can own 90+% of the possibilities of links and have it go through your funnel if you own that entire SERP, right? Easy enough. We've seen a lot of other courses about like dominating the SERPs or whatever else, and what they basically do is they teach you, okay, you know what? you can dominate this one little town or this one little county or whatever else, and you can dominate it with your YouTube videos and your Yelps and your Yelp page and your Yellow Pages and your Facebook and your Twitter and whatever the hell else, third-party, app or third-party page or whatever else that you can grab. And to be honest with you, there's a problem with that, all right? And the problem is that the third-party properties, they require thought and they require additional clicks in order to find your offer, okay? The way that we try and build out these funnels is that they're automatically coming right to your offer page, 100% click-through rate every single time, okay? Rather than going to my Yelp page and then trying to figure out how to get to my web page, or trying to go to my YouTube page and then trying to figure out how to get back to my website, all right? It's another click in the process and another click we don't want. So, it's great to dominate with YouTube and Yelp and all that other stuff if you're trying to do online reputation management, but once again, different end game. This end game is to keep bringing people right to your offer. All right, everybody good on that section? We're all good? All right, perfect. Pretty easy, right? All right, so what are organic funnels? We get asked this quite a bit. What the hell is an organic funnel? Is it a funnel made out of paper? And no, it's not. All right, using the double agent plugin, we can overlay any page we want within the WordPress sites that we control. So hence, we're creating a funnel. It's in the organic section of Google, hence an organic funnel. Pretty simple, right? It basically means that all roads lead to you. All right, they click on your SERP result. That goes exactly where you want it to go. You set it. You put in the URL. You set it. So the point of this is not like, okay, this is going to be really technical. It's going to be really hard, and then whatever else. It's going to be that. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of a process here, right? But the whole point is that it's a rinse and repeat process. So if you have tools, you're going to make it a hell of a lot easier for yourself. If you don't have the right tools, it's still a rinse and repeat process. You create, the process, and you just do it over and over and over and over again, all right? So hence, rinse and repeat. Now, the reason I like rinse and repeat is because it's scalable. I can put certain things into my system to make it scalable. All right, I can write U-bots or I can use iMacros, and I can now make this thing scalable. All right, so hence the whole system of rinse and repeat. There shouldn't be a whole lot of thought process. You should know the next step that you're going to each time. You only need to know how to do this method once. Then repeat it as many times as you need to. All right, so basically we're going to talk about building one site. All right. And then you're just going to rinse and repeat that over and over and over again until you continue to dominate that SERP. So that's pretty simple, all right? And like I said, we're going to try and blow through this because there are other parts that we want to get to, which are going to require a hell of a lot more time. But this is the one section where I have a lot of people trying to wrap their heads around, all right? It's the niche selection. Now, not all of, when we originally launched SERP Landlord, okay, it was like everybody and their mother. I want to do breast augmentation. I want to do plumbers. I want to do dentists. I want to do, it was like, guys, enough with that, okay? Service-based industries, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, for those of you that have already started looking about, creating your own sites, whether it be with SERPshaker or other tools or whatever else, okay? You're going to see that in home-based service industries, okay, anything that, contractors, roofing, windows, all that sort of stuff, you're going to see how densely populated that space already is, okay? Now, the problem is that there's like a billion other places that you can go, but we're just all trained that, hey, because Home Advisor and because Angie's List and because Dex Knows is there, that I've got to be there. Yellow Pages is there, I've got to be there, okay? It's just simply not true. We make a killing in different niches that have nothing to do with home-based service industries where we don't need to fight in the niches, and we make an absolute killing in these niches, all right? The only time that niche decisions are really not your decisions is when you have a client, okay? When you have a client, unfortunately, you don't get to pick their business. You don't get to pick their niche. You do get to pick whether or not you want to work with them or not, okay? But unfortunately, you can't say, well, look, that niche looks a little tough online. You shouldn't be a contractor today. We should go into balloon art, okay? Obviously, it's not a choice, okay? So, that's the only time when the niche selection is really not your selection, all right? But when the niche selection is your decision, then pick one where you're not fighting in the SERPs, all right? Period, the end. You got to think outside the box a little bit. I'm just going to grab one or two of the questions. Can all these domains be on the same hosting account? Yes, you can. Because we use Cloudflare, they can all be on the same exact hosting account. The Cloudflare disperses the DNS. You can go into the advanced PBN section, the replay of that training, and it will explain to you how to set up Cloudflare, and we're going to be putting something out in a small video training for that as well. In reference to iMacros, we use the iMacros through Firefox. So I think it's iOpus or something like that in reference to the iMacros. All right, so continuing with niche decisions. For the love of God, think outside the box. It had gotten really, really, really bad because it was like, and it wasn't that, people were, that I thought that people were dumb or whatever else. It wasn't. It's that you can see how the minds of everybody were thinking and how we were trained to think. Once you started to think outside the box, and we did have a lot of customers, we still do have a lot of customers that do think outside the box, and they just absolutely, truly dominate. All right? The whole, I want to rank for a plumber, I want to rank for personal injury lawyer, please just stop, okay? They're great niches. You may be able to break into some of them, but for the most part, just stop. Just move on to a niche, if it's your selection, that has blue waters, okay? There's a great book out there called Blue Oceans, and it just talks about, hey, you can run along with the crowd, but, if you just do something a little slightly different, you're not going to be competing with everybody under the sun, okay? Let the other guys fight it out in the index while you're making money. We want to take niches from the local aspect, okay? So in our niche decisions, we want to say, does this keyword make sense that somebody's going to be searching for it on the local level, all right? So if it's, and we did have somebody like, I want to make money, I want my keywords to be make money online. All right, well, make money online, San Diego, California is not a search that somebody's going to do, period, the end, okay? Just anything with make money online with a geo target is just not it wasn't very well thought out, okay? Other things, products and different, other products and stuff like that. People do search for cameras locally. They search for other products locally. Normally what we do is we look at products that are bigger in size because shipping would be an issue for these and see if somebody would be, and then we go ahead and we test. Is this something, common sense-wise, is this something that somebody's going to search for locally, all right? And what we do is we'll actually go ahead and we'll pick 10 niches, 10 different locations with those keywords, and we'll actually take a look and see what those SERPs look like, all right? Can I give some examples? Well, let me just go back for a second. It says, can all of these domains be on the same hosting account? We covered that. The iMacros, we covered that. So we use iOpus. I use iOpus through Firefox for all my iMacros. When buying domains, do you have to buy them under different buyer profiles? No, you don't, but we'll get to that. So are you still renting state sites to these weird niches? Yes, we are. Weird niches are absolutely money makers. You don't have sound? I don't know why you don't have sound. If you're using shared hosting, would it be, yes, upgrade the hosting to some sort of dedicated plan, okay? All right, so let's continue moving on here. Some examples, here we go. Somebody asked for examples. Product plus local town plus state. Service plus local town plus state. Like I said, we want to try and stay away from, Jake and I love to stay away from the home-based service niches. Roofing, windows. You can speak to people that are in those niches, and they fight all day long with other people in the SERPs, okay? Here's an example. All right, personal injury lawyer is really tough because of the amount of money involved, but we made great strides with like immigration lawyer. We did a lot of stuff with other different types of lawyers that were a little bit off the beaten path. Okay, immigration lawyer, somebody might say they're not really off the beaten path, but there was like different attorneys that do kind of weird sort of law where they only need a handful of referrals a month, and they're making a huge amount of money. So, for instance, intellectual property lawyer, your town plus state. So you're going to pick 10 locations throughout the state, throughout the country if you're building a national one, or if you're going to build it, a county one, 10 places in your county, or a state one, 10 places in your state. You're going to take your keywords plus the local town plus the state, and boom, there you go, okay? If you're seeing the same websites showing up in each one of those SERP results, well then you're going to want to take a real good hard look at it. If you're seeing a lot of mom and pop websites showing up or whatever else, great. That's like right for the picking right there, okay? What size locations? I don't know. Pick different size locations. We like to pick small locations. We like to pick larger locations. We try not to target, and we try not to look at the real populated areas, all right? Like, for instance, Manhattan, stuff like that, because there are a lot of people that will specifically try and target those locations, okay? So I like to look a little bit on the outskirts because I know that I'm just going to be picking up a tremendous amount of traffic from that low-hanging fruit, okay? No, we're not buying a different domain for each local town and state unless that's the way you want to set it up. So, research and due diligence. I can't stress this enough, okay? Pick your 5 locations, 10 locations within the U.S., check the SERPs for your keywords plus those locations. If you don't do your research and your due diligence, you can't be upset when it turns out that you're just getting crushed in the SERPs and you're going to be sitting on page 3 all the time for those search results. All right, you have to do this. It's a step that you just have to do. These are the questions that you should be asking yourself. Does it make sense on the local level? These keywords, does it make sense on the local level? What does the competition look like? All right. Once again, if you're seeing a lot of mom and pops in there, that's great. If you're seeing a lot of like Home Advisor, Yelps, Yellow Pages, Dexnos, and everything else, you're going to be in for a little bit of a fight. Okay. So, with that being said, do we understand the niche decisions? I mean, once again, I can't tell you exactly how to do it, but if you're looking like for products and stuff like that, you can go to like Wayfair, you can go to Amazon, you can take a look at a lot of those. And we do this as well. We take a look at larger items that we know people are not really going to want to have shipped to them, so they're going to be looking for it local. We're going to be looking for, items that we know people either want to get their hands on quickly, so they're going to be searching for it locally. These are the different things that go on in our head when we're trying to determine different niches. So now we're going to get to domain names. And, domain names, it's pretty funny because if we would have taught this about 2 months ago, I would have actually had a different explanation on domain names. Now, with a lot of the testing that we've done, we've actually found that we buy our domain names pretty differently today. All right? An EMD is not as hot as it used to be. And for those people that don't know what an EMD is an exact match domain. So if I'm trying to rank for pretzel container, okay, because I'm just looking at a pretzel container, I don't want pretzelcontainer.com, all right? It's just really not where I want to be, okay? It has made a little bit of a comeback since Pigeon, but not as much as I'd like it to. And when we look at non-brand names versus EMDs, okay, non-EMDs versus EMDs, we tend to go with the non-EMDs and stuff that's more branded. The reason being is that we found that it was just way too easy to over-optimize, all right? It was way too easy if our domain name covered all of our keywords that we were looking for, and then our category would, and then our post would, and Google was just like, dude, you're sending me a spam sandwich, and a newbie would look at it. But because we're building it from the inside, a lot of times we just don't even notice it until after the site's deployed, and we go, wow, that was a really bad choice as far as the optimization goes, okay? We just over-optimized the hell out of our site, all right? No, we're not using age domains. All of our domains are brand spanking new domains. I don't like anybody else's baggage, okay? And for, I guess that can be taken all sorts of different ways, but, I'm not looking for somebody else's baggage. I want to have a brand spanking new domain. I haven't found on any of my tests that an age domain does any better. Actually, I found that age domains sometimes do worse because of all the baggage that comes with them, the anchor text that's already been set up and everything else, all right? Somebody said, but your diamond site is killing it. Yeah, my diamond site's killing it, and I can show you, for the diamond site that is killing it, I can show you 3 other domains that aren't killing it right now, all right? So, yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of sometimes, the exact match domain won't hurt you. We're finding that it hurts you more often than not at this point. And that's the best example, that's the best answer that I can give, the most truthful one. All right, so let's look at this, all right? This is an example. So our main keywords are commercial power washer. We're going to want to look at some of the LSIs and maybe throw in a couple of different terms and stuff like that. So power washing pros, okay? Now, power washing is in there. All right, we left out the commercial. All right, so we definitely wouldn't want to go with commercial power washing pros. But now we have building scrub services, okay? Well, it's not so great for branding purposes, but you're starting to get the idea. Revolution power washers, okay? It's power and it's an LSI for washing, it's washers, okay? So, you know, like I said, having something that's a little bit more brandable, we're finding we're just getting much, much better results with, okay? LSIs of the keywords that we're looking to target, we get much better results with, all right? Somebody's writing, new domains are taking a long time to rank. No, they're not. They absolutely aren't. If you're talking about, you know, trying to point backlinks and everything else to them, then that's a completely different subject that we're not talking about right now. But in this method, new domains rank as soon as the pages are indexed, period.
Yep.
All right, so keywords.
Every site I built ranks within 20.
Yep. Somebody's saying here, every site that I build ranks within 24 hours. Literally, as soon as they're indexed, they usually start ranking, and the rankings only tend to go up. All right. So that's it. Sometimes it takes a little bit to index. Yes, it does, and we've been over that. It's all about Google's resources and where they're pushing their resources. As long as you're getting 1 or 2 spiders coming to your website right from the beginning, just let Google run its course, and it will come back. All right. So, keywords. The Google Keyword Planner lies, period. Okay, if you've never heard it before, sit down for a second, take a seat. I don't want to hurt anybody. Google lies, okay? They just do. The Google Keyword Planner lies, period. And I don't think that the Google Keyword Planner really means to lie, okay? It's a matter of how much resources Google's going to put forth into, you know, something that they either may or may not get out of, you know, or get a return on, okay? They really don't keep track of local search volume. All right, I've had people that say, well, you know what? Those keywords are crap because Google Keyword Planner says nobody searches it. I said, well, that's great. I go, you know, this is what I want you to do. Go to Google Keyword Planner, type in the word pizza and your town. See what Google Keyword Planner brings back to you as far as how many searches that gets per month. And they go, it doesn't get any. I go, so you've never searched for pizza in your town. You don't think anybody else has ever searched for pizza in your town. I go, look, they're not really lying to you as much as they get zero return on the amount of resources. It would be an exorbitant, almost an infinity amount of resources that they would have to put forth in order to give you every single search result. There was an article out not that long ago that for on 100% of all the searches that are done on Google daily, 20% of those searches are first-time searches, have never been done before ever. So explain to me how Google would be able to keep up with that with their resources, just hoping that maybe you'll buy an ad, all right? So Google really only starts to keep track of those keywords, you know, I really want to say 50 clicks and above, maybe 100 clicks and above, and even then it's not really exactly reliable, okay? So, you know, what you want to look for the Google Keyword Planner, you want to just look at trends with the Google Keyword Planner. You want to look at when you go to Google Keyword Planner, and you know what, Jake, do me a favor. I'm going to I want to do a quick screen share if I can.
Sure. You just push.
There we go. Hold on one second. Let me just log into my Google. Let me just log into my AdWords account real fast. All right. And I'm going to do it on the other screen because I don't want all you guys logging into my AdSense account and racking up the bills and stuff like that on me. And I'm on Jake's computer, so it's making me run a little bit slower, okay?
Why do you have to show off?
Okay, just type that in. I just need to...
Oh, we're going into my account. I don't have my own account.
It doesn't matter. Because otherwise I gotta log off your...
Okay.
All right, good enough. All right, so let me kind of show you guys exactly what's going on here. All right, you know what, guys? Do me a favor, just hang on to the questions because I don't want to lose the questions. Okay? Yes, you want to build this. You want to build out your pages before you do IA. Absolutely, before you do index assault. Can you give us a list of elements you always include in your sites? Yes, we will go over that on the on-page SEO section. Okay. All right. Nah, don't worry about it. Can't do nothing. Don't worry about it. So here we go. All right. So we're going to search for a new key for the different volumes and stuff like that. So let's just do this. Pizza. I'm going to do Dumont, New Jersey. Okay. All right, so you see that there's all sorts of keywords here. Montclair restaurants, Dumont, Jersey pizza. My keyword idea is Dumont, New Jersey. Oh, look at that. That actually does get searches. Believe it or not, my wife grew up in Dumont. There's like 40,000 pizza fucking places there. So look at that. Don't I feel stupid? Let me do my town. All right, it has 20. So, yeah, I guess Google's gotten a little bit better because a couple months ago it wasn't showing nothing. But
try it for auto repair stuff in New York.
Yeah, let's do that.
Suffern's actually quite popular for auto repair then. If you do reputation management stuff for New York.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do reputation management. Suffering.
There you go.
Okay, so it's saying here that nobody has ever searched that ever before. Never. It's never happened.
Yesterday.
Because we've done searches with it all the time, okay? So really what it comes down to is, Google doesn't think it's going to get an ROI on being able to promote that amount of resources over to your Google keyword planner. They just don't think they're going to get it, all right? So that's kind of where it sits, all right? Know that people do search for things and use a lot of common sense. I know that, common sense is in short supply these days. Common sense is in short supply with me too sometimes, okay? But sometimes I really got to think about it. I go, yeah, absolutely, somebody would search for that. All right, so there we go. So for instance, let's pick SEO. We might want to target SEO companies, search engine optimization service, online marketing firms, okay? These are all of the LSI or related keywords that we're going to go after, okay? If we're going after SEO, like I said, are you going to go after search engine optimization? You're going to go after SEO. You're going to go after SEO companies, SEO firms, online marketing companies, online marketing firms, search engine optimization services, search engine optimization companies. You get the idea, all right? So what we're doing is, like I said, we're grabbing the keywords. Our core site is going to be about something specific, all right? We're not going to create a website about lawyers and try and get personal injury lawyer, divorce lawyer, immigration lawyer, medical malpractice lawyer, and think that that's all going to rank in one site, because it's not. You got to keep your keywords pretty tight, okay? And we don't want to go after for those of you guys that were on the Pigeon update, we don't want to go after, like, for instance, SEO, best SEO company, best SEO firm, best, or cheap SEO companies. You don't want to do your exact match word with a modifier. What you really want to do is you kind of want to spread it all out, okay? SEO companies, all right, search engine optimization firms, online marketing, firms or companies or services, all right, and just mix it all up, okay? And that's it. All right. The reason that we want to do that is we're looking at spread, okay? Now, just because we have some websites that, like, the page didn't index yet, but because it's in like a random post widget that we have, the page actually ranks for that area and those keywords, all right? Just because the words happen to be somewhere on the page, all right? Because the local has so much less competition, you'll be able to gobble up a ton of long-tailed keyword phrases if, and I'm going to switch back to this slide here, if you spread out and you think, a little bit broad on what your related keywords are, okay? You don't want to think too broad, but other words for firms or services or company or whatever else, you're going to want to expand out upon that, all right? If SEO, search engine optimization, search engine marketing services, search engine marketing firms, companies, you guys get the idea, okay? All right, so On-site SEO. Now we're going to jump into, somebody was asking before, what are the elements, okay? We're going to get into exactly what the elements are. And believe it or not, on the local, it's not that many elements that are actually needed, okay? Oh man, hold on. I got this annoying thing going on in the background. Hold on one second. Click to unmute. Click to mute. Okay. So the on-site SEO. This is outside of your decision making for your niche. This is the next most important thing. All right, so some of the things that we're going to discuss that are musts, okay? You've got to look at your title tag. Your title tag is probably, once again, a lot of this stuff is basic stuff, okay? But it's actually stuff that I actually keep a list of because of the fact that if I don't, I forget. And it's not because, I'm not good at SEO, or maybe I'm not good at SEO, and I'm sure that somebody will hit me up and say, you suck at SEO. All right, but what's it called? Hold on, I'm losing this. Okay, so we've got to look at the title tag. All right, the title tag is probably one of the most important elements of our on-page SEO. If you guys are using SERPshaker, or if you're using different spun things, you're going to want to spin certain things into your title tag. All right, so for instance, like if you want to do, let's just use SEO. Okay, you're going to want to spin in maybe find or locate an SEO company. Like the find, locate. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of discover, a whole bunch of different things. A whole bunch of different keywords that you could put in there. You don't want it to look spammy, just like SEO company wherever. Okay. It does work on lots of different occasions. On some occasions, we're finding now that the more broader that you can go with the different types of spun out title tags, the more that some of the pigeon update is just kind of grabbing those pages and making them rank. All right. So your title tag, tremendously important. Your keyword needs to be in your title tag. The short code for the area needs to be in your title tag. Now, we've seen, we had people that came to us and said, I can't get my website to rank. And even though it wasn't our software that they were using, I looked at it and all their title tag was the city name. It didn't mention what they were looking to do, like what the website was about. It wasn't like, it wasn't, custom windows in, Suffern, New York. It was Suffern. And that was it. Well, with that, you're never going to rank, okay? You're just not going to rank. So your H1s, your H2s, your H3s, your H1 may be the same as your title tag. All right, in lots of different themes, that is the case. Your H1 is your title tag. So if that's the case, you can move on to your H2, your H3s, or your H4s. Okay. Those H tags, those H2s, H3s should be, all of your related keywords should be in there. And I'll show you an example of some of this in a couple of minutes, okay? It absolutely needs to be, your related keywords need to go into those H2s, H3s, just to give you a better chance of being viewed, okay? I'm getting a couple of questions here. I'm going to grab them as soon as I'm finished with this slide, all right? Images are good, but not always needed. We actually don't put images in a lot of our in a lot of our posts. We could spin out different things that go with that image. That really wouldn't be a problem, and maybe in some cases we should. And I know that we're always testing with new things with our builds, and we could very easily pop in an image into each one of them and spin out the alt tags and stuff like that and references to the images. But if you're going to put an image on your tag, put the alt tag on your image, okay? If you're not sure what an image alt tag is, Google it, all right? These are basics as far as SEO, all right? Map embeds are good. They're not always needed. We love the map embeds for the reason that, how we always say that you should have a backlink going out to an authoritative website? Well, that embed map link is actually right underneath it. Will say view a larger, view this map, I forget exactly what the term is, but it will say, click here to view the map larger or whatever else. That's a link going right back to Google. So boom, there's your authoritative, link. It's actually going back to a geo link rather than, a keyword link that you're trying to rank for. So first sentence, last sentence, and bold out your keywords once, okay? Meaning first sentence should have your keywords in it, last sentence should have your keyword in it, and bold out the keywords once. This is just simple on-site SEO stuff, okay? Nothing crazy, nothing, too wild here, all right? But, once again, these are the elements that you're going to want to make sure are in your text. And this is about all we do in order to make our pages rank. All right, so let me go back through. We got a handful of questions. No, I don't actually use SEO Blog Kahuna. I have it, and I use it on my some of my PBNs every once in a while, but I found that I just don't need it anymore. But actually, I really like the software. It was pretty cool. Do you need videos? You're going to need videos if you're going to want to use Index Assault in order to create that video sitemap in order to get your page indexed. But videos don't necessarily, we have not found that videos necessarily boost your rankings all that much. Having videos on each page does make the crawlers go a little bit deeper into your site. Yes, absolutely. All right, so in meta tags or on the page. No, these are all meta tags. Okay, I mean your title tag, your H1s, your H2s, your H3s. They're actually in your post content. Okay, but it's all metadata. All right. I find that the size of my text gets smaller and smaller. All you got to do, if you're having a problem, somebody's saying that they find that their text gets smaller and smaller as they go through the H1, H2, H3 tags, that can all be handled through your CSS. You can go into your CSS and you can change that, all right? Or you can pick, a different theme that doesn't screw it up for you, since that CSS is in the theme. Somebody's asking about how many H tags. I don't really go much further than H4s, all right? H2 or more, is that okay? No, I usually only have one H2 tag, one H3 tag, one H4 tag, all right? Do we just link to the city and the map? Yep, that's exactly what we do. How do you embed maps per city? We spin it into our content, is how we do it. We've grabbed the embed code and we figured out a way to be able to spin it using our builder, okay? You can actually figure out how to do it with SRP too. It's actually really not that hard once you start learning, how the short codes work and everything else. Are you going to talk about how to build these massive sites? Yes. We're not going. The software, like I said, you can use SRP as far as building out massive sites. We have our own piece of software that we have. There's been discussions about what we're going to do with it. That we have not gone actually out there at all with it yet, really. We're still figuring out what we want to do with it. Hey guys, what are your options to help with rankings if we don't have a big PBN to start? Well, on these types of sites, we don't use PBNs at all. So, like I said, we can talk about money site SEO. We can talk about that at a different time, but this is just this type of SEO right now and how we're dominating the local SERPs nationwide. All right, with WordPress. Should the homepage be static or a blog page? We actually have it as a blog page. We don't have it as a static page, but you could very easily create a static page and put your, a directory right in your static page that starts your silo. You could absolutely do that. No problem with that. Can you use TinyMouse Advanced for changing your fonts? I don't think that that's going to work, Maggie, just because of the fact that the CSS is going to override it. We use basically 2012 on almost all of our site builds, all right? How do you embed videos? Go to YouTube. Well, if you want to embed videos, you can actually use Index Assault. It will do it all for you. If you want to embed videos, go to YouTube. Right underneath the video, there's a section for embed under share. It will give you the code to use. Is Index Assault only used to index video pages? No, it's also used to place videos on each page. It says, is Index Assault only used to index video pages? No. Once the crawlers actually hit your site, and we've done this before where we've had a website that has 300,000 pages, we've only built out a sitemap that had 1,000 pages with videos on it, and the crawlers still came and decimated our site, whether it was a sitemap with only 1,000 pages with videos or whether it was an all-out, assault on every page that we had in our video sitemap. It didn't matter. Once the sites got there, it was like bees on honey or ants on sugar or something like that, right? And they were just, the bots were all over it. Does IA embed the videos or just create the sitemap? It does both. IA embeds the videos and creates a sitemap. Possible Google Map embed solution. Yep. Somebody, post that in the forum, Mark. That's awesome. Mark Upshaw, who I have the greatest respect for, really smart SEO guy. He's giving a possible Google Map embed solution. So I'm going to ask Mark to just throw that into the forum. Would love it to be there. What type of themes do you recommend? We recommend using 2012, right?
Yep.
2012 is just the lightest, and since we're overlaying stuff anyway, it doesn't matter how you look. All right, so how do you launch with 300,000 pages? We just launch it. We put IA on it. We let it run to the fullest. We have a dedicated box, and we don't get slowed down at all. All right? All right, so let's, and yes, Frank, I do respect you. Wow, let me just grab a drink here. All right, let's get into content. So, what about content for those 300,000 pages, though? Well, that's what we're jumping into right now. It's pretty funny. Somebody just asked that question. So, Keith, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about content. We're going to talk about duplicate content myths. We're going to talk about all of that crap, and I'm going to show you exactly what we do in order to get our content. All right? So, and I've done another video on it. We did a live training on it's the PBN free content, and we'll actually show you how we did it. But I'm going to do it again today. All right. Okay. So I know that I want to create a site for reputation management. All right. So reputation management is going to be my keyword. All right. Online reputation management plus location. All right. That's going to be one of my tags. Another one of my tags, reputation management firm plus my location, reputation management services plus my location, get rid of bad reviews. These are some of the keywords that I decided that I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to try and rank for. Okay? And I want to try and rank for them on a national basis. All right? So what I'm going to do is give me a second. Because I'm on Jake's computer, I am going to just log into my Spin Rewriter account, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I pull my content.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hi,
and
Aaron.
In the next 3 minutes, I'll show you how you can use
gosh. I gotta speak to him in reference to getting that video turned off as soon as I get to the page. All right, so here we go. I'm going to open this up. All right, and this is my Spin Rewriter. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do, can everybody see? Everybody can see my Spin Rewriter? I just want to make sure that I brought the screen back. Yep. Okay. This is a lot better than the last time. Remember that? Oh, no, you didn't remember that, Jake, but I was trying to do a screen share, and like the whole thing would just bug down on me. All right, so this is as simple as simple gets. All right, so what I am going to do is I am going to shoot over the e-zine articles. All right, so what I'm going to do is my main keywords, reputation management. So I'm going to find an article on reputation management. Now, when I'm picking my article, and once again, you should definitely, if this is the first time you're seeing this, you should go back and you should watch the training in reference to the free content for your PBNs, because this is the same free content as you're going to get for these massive sites. All right, and we went into it a little bit more in depth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just scan down real fast. Wow, it looks like they kind of changed up their UI here, or their search page here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for something that doesn't say like the 5 tips on how to do this or 10 tips on how to do this, because those are bullet points and I don't want to use bullet points. All right. I'm going to, in the meantime, I am going to open up my Notepad, because I think Notepad is like just the coolest piece of software that ever existed, especially for this types of stuff. And it's free if you have, Microsoft. Greatest part about it is it removes all the formatting. So let's just, let's scoot over here for a second. Let's go best practices and methods. Let's actually go back a little bit further, because you know what? A lot of times people grab these articles right off the front page. So I don't like to always grab the first set of articles. I like to go a little bit deeper, knowing that somebody else hasn't grabbed that article already. All right, so knowing the essentials, hire reputation management to maintain goodwill. All right. Hopefully none of you guys here are this guy Dijon, all right, or Dejan. Because I'm going to steal his. All right, I'm going to go here. I copied it, and now I'm going to paste it. You're going to see that the article source shows up. Yes, I am removing it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of there. I'm going to continue down. Online Reputation Management Guide. All right. Friggin' looks good to me. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it right back into Notepad. And believe it or not, yes, Notepad is a very important step because once again, as I said, it removes all the formatting. All right. I don't want anything formatted. Let's go to page 8. I'm going to grab one more article. See, like this article right here, Reputation Management, 3 helpful tips. It's going to probably be bullet pointed. I want to stay away from it. All right? Why your business needs an online reputation management company. I'll tell you what, Becky, you wrote this article just for me because it's perfect. All right, so I'm going to grab this. I do see a couple of bullet points in here, and that's okay. All right, so what I am going to do now is I am going to take these 3 articles, I'm going to copy it, and I'm pasting it to Spin Rewriter. And I'm just going to pop it right in here, and you'll see it has 1,300 words, all right? It's a nice, decent article. We're going to spin it out. We're going to make it look great, okay? So for any of you guys, like I said, I use Spin Rewriter. A lot of you guys might use other pieces of software. I'm not going to bash anybody else. There's the best spinner. There's a bunch of ones out there. I've landed on this one. I've had great success with it, so I haven't changed. And I'm sure there are other ones out there that are just as fine, just as dandy. This is what I'm going to use, though. Okay. So it says, would you like to spin your original text on paragraph or end sentence level? Automatically, I click yes. I go through these little spots here. Basically, it's asking me, do I want to automatically rewrite complete sentences, entire paragraphs, write additional paragraphs on its own, change the entire structure of sentences and phrases? Hell yeah, I want it to do everything for me, okay? And I'm going to start the rewriting process. So this is going to go for a second or two, and we will see where we wind up. Now, what we used to do is we used to take one piece of content, we used to spin out things underneath it. We just spin the hell out of everything now. We find that the best results with just spinning the living hell out of it all. All right, so it's looking for synonyms, it's going through, it's doing its job. This may take up to 20 seconds. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait 20 seconds, damn it. All right, so it started the spin process here. We're not done yet. The unique stats are billions of possibilities and 99% unique average on page. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the one-click rewrite. I'm going to bring it down to only synonyms that SpinWriter is really confident about. All right. This is the setting that I find works the best. I might want to protect out my words SEO just because I don't think it's going to spin it either way. But normally I don't protect the words because I love, Spin Rewriter just does a great job on itself of finding those LSIs for me within my content. But in this particular case, actually no. Reputation. Online and management. I don't want it to spin those keywords for me, all right? Everything else I'm going to have it spin. So now it's going to go through every single word that was highlighted there before in a different color. It's going to just change out those keywords for me. And believe it or not, what you can do is you can actually just have one of your VAs just sit here all day long and grab your content doing this exact technique. Once again, it's just free content. Now, we would go through, continue. We would go through a lot of times we would get unique content written, and what we found was that it really didn't matter at the end of the day unless the client was really specific about what they wanted. I love when I get errors. Don't ask me again. Continue. But it didn't really matter whether we grabbed the copy and whether we spun it out or whether we got completely unique content. The problem with the unique content was that it just took forever to get the content back to me, and I didn't have the time to waste. So what we did was we just went ahead and we just started doing it this way and found that it worked great. Oh, the system resources are just dying here. What is going on? Oh, you gotta love it.
What's going on?
Well, we're trying to do a quick rewrite in progress, and it's just timing out right this second.
I should have done it in Chrome. Firefox has a memory leak.
Once again.
Yeah, same problem on the PBN webinar. Yeah, but it eventually went through. I don't know. This one looks like it's just straight up doesn't want to.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So beautiful. And honestly, it's because we're also live streaming right now, because when I'm doing it, when I'm not live streaming, I usually don't run into that issue. All right, so continue to the final step. Boom, I got exactly what I want. Okay, now, if I am not using tools, okay, if I am not using tools, and I want to stress that, then what I could do is I could go down here and I could click on generate unique content, and it will unspin it for me. All right? So I would go in here and I would do, let's say, online reputation management. I forget what my keywords were specifically. And what I could do is I could actually put these right in a, what do you call it? Yeah, then just copy and paste these things back and forth all day long. But like, for instance, if you had a short code that was like your city, state, then you put your short code right in here. Well, actually, this would be if you were going to be doing SRP or one of those, okay? If not, then basically what you would do is you could actually go up here and you could decide which ones are going to be your H1s or your H2s. So let's do that, all right? Let's go, because I'm going to copy this into the text editor portion of WordPress, so I can make my H2, and I could do online reputation repair, let's say. Maybe that was one of my keywords before, I don't even remember. And I could just put in a couple of big X's there to remind me that I have to fix that when I get to, if I'm doing this manually. I put a couple of X's in, and once again, I'd set up my H3 down below, and I grab one of my other long tail keywords, okay, and I can put it in here, and when I save it, it's going to be saved in there. So every spin, it's going to come out with whatever my H2 tag is with my XXXXX, okay? Understood? You guys get that? If I'm doing this manually, now manually sucks. I'm not gonna lie with you, all right? But if you took this page with your H1, with a good title tag, your H2, your H3, your H4s, all right, and you spun this out, you're not going to have any issue with this, okay? Now, obviously, I'm going to have to go in here and I'm going to have to tweak this a little tiny bit, all right? Depending on whether I'm using my tool or whether we're using SRP or whatever we're looking to do. What I would do is I go right in here to the beginning. I'm going to put my first sentence in there. I'm going to bold it all out and everything else. If I'm going to blow it out through SRP, okay? If I'm not going to blow it out through SRP and I'm going to do it manually, then obviously I'm going to do a ton of cut and paste right from the generator unique version of this text. All right, so let me just do this real fast. So I'll show you exactly what it looks like. I'm just going to create an H3. I'm just going to scroll down, randomly put it in. I found a paragraph here. It's like, all right, that works for me. I don't get too crazy. I don't overthink anything. Most of the time, my brain is shut off to begin with, so it's hard to overthink it. Reputation repair. I can just make this reputation repair. I can make it reputation management firms, or whatever. You guys get the idea, okay? Yeah, I got to close the tab, correct. I didn't do that. Which would be a pain in the ass, right? If I just copy and pasted that and put it in somewhere else. But if you're doing this in Surfshaker, then what I would do is you don't have to worry about setting up your H2s and your H3s and your H4s right now. Just grab the spun content right out of this section right here, or save it, grab the spun content, pop it right into your Surfshaker. Then configure everything right in your Surfshaker. Do your H2s, do your H3s, do your H4s. Okay, write a sentence for the first your first sentence, your last sentence. Bold it out. Once again, you're working right then in the confines of WP, and you can use the what you see is what you get, and you'll be able to build all that out really easily before you deploy out the pages. All right. Hold on one second. Let me take a quick look here. Okay, so you guys are getting the idea here, correct? I mean, are we on something? Like, is everybody here following this so far? Okay, I'm going to open up a different page over here. If anybody is lost, I need you to kind of speak up now. Shut up, Frank. Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody seems to be pretty good so far. I don't have anybody here that's having major issues. Same content, all right, same spun content is put on every single page. Exactly. You're not using the final spun content article. There's two ways to do it. If I'm going to do it manually, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in here, okay? This is WordPress, okay, for those of you that don't know. So what I can do is let move some of this stuff out of the way. Don't get too dizzy while I'm doing this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. Hold on. We're going to open up a couple more notepads just so I can play here. Notepad. All right, so if I want to put this into Surfshaker, all right, or one of these tools that will create the post, and I'm glad I did that because you'll actually see that I have weird characters here. I have weird characters here. I have weird characters here. And I want to just take a quick look through and make sure that all of it's good, all right? My H2 could be, I'll put in my short code. So my short code 1 would go in here, my city, state, whatever, however you guys named your short codes. All right, that would go there. I could create a different short code if I just wanted to do the state, and I could put that in there, or I could repeat the same short code. All right. Surfshaker will vary the spin text on its own. Yes, it will. Do we need a new article for each keyword on the site? Nope, it's the same article. Okay, it's the same article for all these keywords, because what you're going to do is those LSI keywords that you want to rank for, they're going to be tags. Okay, they're going to be tags with one of your short codes. Okay, that's how you're going to blow this puppy out. All right, but just spin the H2 tags, right? Nope, I don't spin out my H2 tags. I don't spin out my H2 tags, and I don't spin out any of my H tags, actually, except for maybe my H1, which is my title. What it is my H1 is going to look like this. The only thing that's going to be different is that short code that gets rendered on each time that it creates that post, okay? Okay, somebody's asking me to re-clarify between LSIs and short codes, all right? An LSI is just related keywords. So if I wanted to rank for, reputation management, I might also want to rank for online reputation management firm, get rid of bad reviews. They're all related keywords, okay? Short codes is what some of these tools will require you to have when you are, short codes is what some of these tools will require you to have in order to pull predetermined things from the database and inject it into your code. Like S3Rp uses this. Our software uses short codes. Short codes are just, short codes are just a way to be able to pull in specific, let's say, areas or different things that you specify as a short code. All right. So what you can do is you can see this big mess that I have here right now on my screen. I could pop that right into S3Rp and I would have no problem. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out one of these pages individually, like I told you. All right. So this is one of the websites that we built on one of the past webinars. Okay. You can say I don't have a whole lot of crazy plugins here, whatever else. Got the Seme plugin. I have my sitemap generator. I have all-in-one SEO. I have a handful of plugins, not even all that many plugins at all. You can see it's not really filled up with all sorts of crazy stuff, okay? So what I'm going to want to do is if I'm going to do this manually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new post. I'm going to grab this is actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this and just pop this right in here. So my new post is going to be create a unique version. So I'm going to do this. I think when we did online rep source, what we did was, I think we did Pennsylvania. So what I'm going to do is somebody pick an area for me. Somebody pick an area. Doesn't need to be Pennsylvania. Preferably somewhere out of Pennsylvania. All right, guys, give me something outside of like a huge hyphen Israel. Okay. Okay, McAllen, Texas. All right, there you go. McAllen, Texas, Grand Rapids, Michigan. You almost got me to say it, Mercer. That was nice.
Go with McAllen. It sounds like Scotch.
All right, so we're going to do McAllen, Texas, okay? And I'm just going to put it in here before you guys keep typing and I lose the what the actual area is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do reputation management in McAllen, Texas. Maybe I'll even make it services. I can make this that's it. I'm just going to leave it like that, okay? Reputation management services in McAllen, Texas. Now what I'm going to do, but you know what? It's not McAllen, Texas. It's supposed to be McAllen, Texas. Yep. McAllen, hold on. Edit. Okay, so now we have that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do, what's the zip code for McAllen, Texas, anyone? McAllen is real too, I didn't even know that. Whoever put in McAllen, Texas, who was that? Let's see. Yeah, I could Google it. Marissa, what's the zip? All right, we are going to Google it. There we go. 78501. Let's pop that in here. 78501. Put it up there. I'm going to put it maybe down here. 78501. Firms in Texas. I can just leave it at that. I'm not even going to put an H4 on this one. What I am going to do is I am going to put a sentence in here. Are you looking for online reputation management firms in. I'm lazy. I'm just going to take this and copy it and paste it right in here. McAllen, Texas. Check us out. Whatever you want to put. Now, a lot of times, guys, that first sentence is pretty important, and the reason why it's important is because Google will oftentimes take that first sentence and make it your description tag, whether you like it or not. Okay, so make sure that it makes sense. Okay. All right, so I'm going to continue down. Reputation management. Employ a great reputation management company in McAllen, Texas. Okay, boom. You see, it's pretty simple. I can embed a Google sitemap a Google map if I wanted to. Let's do that. Google. Why am I pressing Google? Google Map. Google AMP. Great. Google Map. At least Google's smarter than me today. They know exactly what I'm doing. Well, you have different title tags for each city on the same state, such as Blue Widgets, Austin, Texas, Square Widgets, Austin, Texas. Yeah, that will all be handled by your title tags, and I'll show you that in a minute, okay? So let's do McAllen, Texas. Awesome. Hold on one second. Where's my embed code here? Okay. So I can actually grab this through a share. Hey, Jake.
Yep. What do you want to do?
I want to grab my link. No, I don't want to.
What are you trying to do?
I'll grab my embed code.
For this map?
Yep.
Oh, well, it's not that easy. You can't, there's no simple embed this map button.
There actually, believe it or not,
there might be
there
actually
is.
down here.
Yep.
1 second. Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to.
There you go.
Yep, there we go. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go down here. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't use the cog all that often because of the fact that we have spinner text that actually just pops it right out for us. So for me to do this manually, it's been so long since I've actually done this manually because it just doesn't make sense for us to do it manually anymore. Okay, so now let's go back to the visual editor. You're going to see right here, we've got everything that we need. Okay, my little map is going to show up there. If I wanted to make it smaller, I can make it smaller. It doesn't really matter. I could put this down here, and I put in my title tag. I could put my description in, whatever I want to do. Like I said, when you're spinning this all out, all of that stuff will be taken care of for you, usually through the software itself. Okay. So now let's put this together, okay? If we decided that we wanted to use a couple of different keywords, all right, and somebody was saying, do we need to create a different, do I need to create a different content for each page or whatever else? No, you don't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab here, online reputation management companies, and I spelled companies wrong because I'm an awful speller. ORM services, okay, reputation, repair, firms, okay, that'll give you an idea. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab McAllen, Texas, and I'm going to pop those right on top of, once again, this is you guys doing it manually, but it's worth it to do it manually if you can dominate the SERP over and over and over again. And once you have a lot of this set up, it's just literally, you know, a cut and paste job. What we're going to do here is I'm going to take each one of these. I'm I'm going to put my tags in. Boom. Now I got all my tags. So I have now content for reputation repair firms, McAllen, Texas. ORM services, McAllen, Texas. McAllen. Online reputation management companies, McAllen, Texas. And I am done. Okay. What I'm going to do is I am going to publish. All right, and now if this was a brand new site, what I would do is I would go over to SemEasy, the SemEasy plugin, I would run index assault, and it would pop a video on here, and it would index out the site like immediately. Let me just go over here real fast. Let me just do a nuclear strike. Aim assist. Now, I didn't grab the category or whatever else, and I'll go into that in a second, which is some of the on-site SEO as well. But let's say I can just do online reputation. Firms, okay, next. I'm going to blast this. I'm going to blast this. Make this puppy run. Okay, now the only issue is, right, this site's already been indexed out. All right, so let's just go over here and I'll show you real fast. And once the site gets indexed out, sometimes Google's not in a huge rush to come back and re-index out the site. All right, you'll see that there's 5,950 pages because I think we only did this for Pennsylvania. Now, McAllen, Texas, let's just do McAllen. Okay, you can see that there's no pages indexed for McAllen, Texas right now. Let's ping Google. Let's ping Bing. Let's go back to the site. Let's go check out StatPress real fast, see how StatPress is working out for us. We're just going to refresh the page a little bit. Okay, another spider just came in. We've got a couple of spiders coming through the site now. And when you're curious about that, I'm looking over here, right here at this 58. Refresh, you can see the spiders are coming through. What did we start at? Did anybody remember? Did we start at 50? Like I said, they're coming in slow because of the fact that the site's already indexed out. I mean, Google's like, all right, yeah, I found a lot of these pages, and okay, I'm still looking a little bit. Let's go back here and let's see if it indexed it out already. Nope, not yet. Okay, but I can guarantee you we're going to check it a little bit later on, and it will be indexed hopefully shortly, unless Google decides to keep us, 64 now it's staying, so, it is what it is once the site's been indexed out. But, I can guarantee you that page is then going to show up pretty well for online reputation management, McAllen, Texas. All right? Now, what I would do is if I had 9 other domains, I would do the same thing, okay? Boom, put up another article, and how I would do that is I would just go here to Spin Rewriter, create a new unique version. I copy it. I go, right into my post. On the second website, I do the same exact thing. Third website, do the same exact thing that I just did here, okay? Now, with that being said, right, I want to show everybody how to do it manually because of the fact that if you don't want to invest the $37 into some of these cool tools that are out there, not talking about just our tools, because all of you guys have our tools, not talking about, SERPshaker or whatever else, there is manual ways to do this. Also, SERPshaker isn't the only way to do it, okay? There are other ways. We just happen to like that one the best, okay? With that being said, it will allow you to dominate the SERPs. Now, for instance, if you just do online reputation management, let's look at Bronx, New York, right? Just to see, we actually own this one. We own this one. Let's see what else we own. We own, all right, those are the 2 that we own right there. Let's change up the keywords for Reputation management, Bronx, New York. Okay, so with that being said, we own this one, we own this one, and once again, online reputation management, see, it pulled the page for Bronx, New York, internet reputation management. This one is online reputation management. What's up? Very good. You know, and honestly, we just continue owning the page more, you know, the more sites that we push out. Those sites have 0 backlinks. Hold on, I'll show you in a second. I'll show it to you. I don't know if I'm not going to sign into my Ahrefs account in front of you guys, even though I love you. I trust as much as I can throw Frank. Okay, there's 1 backlink. I don't even know where that came from. Actually, I don't even know what the backlink is, but you can see we don't backlink any of these sites. Somehow, the anchor text, okay, let's see. Links, new. We got, I don't even know when a link was added. Let's take a look here. Referring domains. Not action. I don't even know. Let's take a look. I've never even seen this before. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, this is some sort of foreign language, whatever. Whatever. We didn't build a link. You can see that, yeah, we ranked with these with no because we were smart as far as we went out, we checked some of the competition, we felt as though we could do it, and boom, that's it. I mean, it was all about picking the right niche and then being able to dominate it, using the right tools, be able to dominate this, okay? Here, I'll give you, I have an offline business, right? A lot of you guys know. So here, custom lapel pins, Bronx. I haven't checked this in about a week or two, and I know, what do you call it, you know, Pigeon kind of ripped a hole and stuff. All right, so with that being said here, I own this one, I own this one, I own this one, I own this one. I don't own this guy here, and I don't own Yellow Pages, although I'd like to own Yellow Pages. This is my site. I own this one. I don't own this one, but I own this one. All I need to do is build out a couple more sites, and I own them all, okay? So if I go over here and I click on this, this is actually an old overlay, doesn't run as smooth, but boom, there's my site, okay? Now, I'm somebody in the Bronx, I go, okay, well, you know what, I want to try and find a different site. Here, I'm going to do this one instead. Oh, I keep coming back to the same site, all right? And I'm going to go here. This is the one in the 3rd position. Boom, I own this site too. So you'll see that we literally have just dominated the SERPs. You'll notice you're going to need a bunch of different domains, okay? Every once in a while, you'll pop out 2 on the same domain. I'm just looking to see if that happened here, and no, it didn't happen here, but sometimes you do. Usually at the beginning until Google shakes that out, all right? But you can see very easily you could just dominate that particular niche, okay? Here, let's just do embroidered patches, okay? All right, I own this one. Yep, once again, we didn't hit the patches all that too hard, okay? If I go outside of a more competitive area, I'll do my local area, and yeah, okay, I own this one, I own this one, I own this one. So I own like 4 out of the 10 on this. But once again, it's all a matter of just going out and just creating more sites. Just rinse and repeat is all it is. Let's take a quick look here. Somebody's saying that Surfshaker is at 127. I don't know that. Last I knew it was at 37. But once again, not our product. It's actually Don's. Will a local business page builder work with your plugin to build local pages? Well, no, local business page builder, I'm sure, will just build out the pages. So it's, you know, but yes, the double agent, funneling everybody to where you need them to go, indexing out the pages, yes, that will work. Oh man, Andrew, thank you for this home run tonight. No problem. What about subdomains? Okay, good question about subdomains. Just hold up on the question so I don't start losing everybody. What about subdomains? Subdomains work to an extent. What we found was that we did a lot of testing, right, Jake? In reference to subdomains, and when you go crazy with the subdomains, like a lot of them, a couple hundred of them, Google just doesn't like the site anymore. It thinks that you're just trying to spam it out. So if you're going to keep your subdomains down to a minimum, I would say fine. But if you're going to go crazy with them, I don't suggest it. Not to mention, if you want to grab all the SERPs here, you're better off using different domains. Look, dude, a domain is $10 a year. Okay, so I would suggest getting a new domain. Are all the domains using the same host but using Cloudflare? Yes, they are. All of them are using the same host but just using Cloudflare. Did you say sites or pages? I'm not 100% sure what you mean, but I don't know because I caught that a little late. I don't know what the question exactly is. Are these reputation sites that I have, Bronx on page 1, SSL with 200,000 pages or with only a handful targeted under a few smaller areas? These reputation sites that have Bronx on page 1, SS sites with 20,000 pages or sites with only a handful? No, they're actually larger. There are actually larger sites. I mean, there were sites that we pushed out through our national platform. Some of the pages stuck, some of them didn't. Like I said, they're big lighters. They've been out there for, I don't know, God knows. How long have they been out there for? 7 months, 8 months?
What was that?
The reputation management sites?
Yeah, those ones have been out.
They've been out for about
8 months now.
maybe even longer than that. So
Who is it?
I forget. I forget, but I know that they've been out there for. We actually launched them last year at some point. 50 to 75 subs may work fine for me. I think you'll be okay somewhere in that range. What about using a WP theme such as Rockstar Biz theme? I wouldn't use the Rockstar Biz theme to create these sites per se. I mean, I guess, I take that back. I mean, you could, but because we overlay all of our pages and push them back, you don't really need to, because you could just create one really nice landing page somewhere using, let's say, the Rockstars theme or whatever else, their Biz theme, which is actually pretty cool because I've seen it before and I actually own it and I bought it back in the day. I would just create that on, put that somewhere and just, as you're dominating these SERPs, overlay it and have that be the page that's overlaying that. Put that on a .biz domain. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Does it have to be a .com? No, other extensions work just fine too. I like to keep .coms because I think it increases my click-through rate rather than a .us or a .biz or a .whatever. I think it improves my click-through ratio in the organics, but when you own all of the organics, it really, I guess, doesn't really matter too much. AdSense, yeah, you can pop AdSense on these sites as well. We've done plenty with AdSense in reference to these sites. And what we use is AdSense Now. You just pop in wow, sounds like the train is coming right through the door.
Doesn't matter what day we do the webinar.
I swear to God, we have a train that comes through here once a week, and it doesn't make a difference. It's whenever it doesn't seem like, if we change the webinar to a Tuesday, the train will come through on a Tuesday. That's just the way that it goes. So it is a great office location. I got to be honest with you. Freaking absolutely awesome, except for the train that comes through once a week. All right, so you're using more of these double agent than naked site. Yeah, we're using almost all of it with double agent. That's what it is. So with that being said, I'm going to push forward here because this thing could go on forever and ever and ever, right? And we don't want it to. Okay, so we went over this part, which is don't over-optimize, right? So let me go back to, I can close down for a second. I can close this down for a second. Where is my, okay, so by not over-optimizing, what we're talking about is like, for instance, I have embroidered patch suppliers. I don't want to put that in, a category that's like embroidered patch suppliers in New York and then have my post be custom embroidered patch, suppliers in Suffolk, New York, right? Because it's just horrifically over-optimized, all right? So, you really want to be careful with that, all right? And if you want, you could take a quick look. Let me just try and get into the back end here. Let's go, actually, you know what? I'm going to continue moving forward with the slides, and then I'm going to come back to that. There's a reason I'm going to do that, all right? Don't overthink this. Just don't over-optimize, all right? So we're going to go into the domain setup, and this is some of the things that we're going to talk about. If, you're going to be using, which is covered in the PBN content training. I'm not going to go over it right now, but you can use the same host, but set up your domains through Cloudflare. Okay, structure. Now I'm going to get into it. So, our categories are states. Our posts are locations. That's the way that we think about it, okay? So, the structure goes category down to post, all right? Set your permalinks, set your category, set your root tag. Now, I'm going to show you what all of that actually means.
Do you need me?
Oh. So what that all means is I'm in my settings, I'm going to permalinks. Right, tags are meant for LSIs or related keywords, okay? But what I'm doing is I have a couple of choices, right? So I could do either my domain name and my post name, okay? And we put the HTML in to try and get some of the sniffers that are coming through and trying to find word sites to just, either hack or just leave blog comments on and everything else. Keep some of those guys away. I can change my custom structure if I wanted to, and I could put in, my category. So I could put in category, category postname.html, and then my tag base. So for instance, I don't want my tag base, I'm going to just show you one of the examples here. Here, right here on my page, it says custom on time, custom pins on time. It says tag. Now, Google's loving the tag pages. It went through a point like back in 2007, 2008, it loved tag pages, like absolutely loved them. Then it hated them, and now it loves them again, all right? But to make it look a little bit more, less WordPressy and like tag, all I do is change in the back end, my permalink, in the permalink structure page, change tag to locations, okay? And boom. Rather than say tag, it's going to say locations, or I can do areas, okay? I can do whatever I want to do with that, all right? So that's just a nice little quick tip right there. It just makes you look a lot better in the SERPs, all right? And that's that. Now, what we like to do is I've been testing and I've been keeping everything basically at post name. The reason being is that I'm less likely to over-optimize. Now, the thing is, people will go, well, then, your silo's broken. No, it's not. And the reason it's not is because if I go to posts and I go to categories, now you'll see, unfortunately, we have one category, okay, because I only built this out for Pennsylvania. But all those posts fall under Pennsylvania, okay? So the silo structure actually goes category down to the post, okay, which is state down to the location. Okay, even if it doesn't show it in my URL permalink structure, it doesn't seem to matter for Google. We have a less, less chance of over-optimizing, and not only just a less chance of over-optimizing, but now our post. Let's go back here. Let's click on this real fast. Oh, boom! So it's ranked. All right. Well, we'll get back to that in a second. I'm sure that somebody will check it. Right. So, so here it's closer, this post is closer to the root directory, all right, at least as far as the URL structure goes. So once again, we've just found that with a shitload of testing that we've done, and excuse my language, I'll go to church later, Frank, that it works, okay? And it just seems to be working better right now. That doesn't mean that in 2 weeks from now it's going to change. I mean, it may change. It absolutely might. So let's go over here real fast, and let's just see if this page is going to rank. Okay, I got, look at that. It's not ranking right this second, but like I said, this will, it probably just got picked up in the index, but I guarantee you if you give it a little bit of time, it's going to just show, oh, there it is. Well, that's not it. I take that back. let's just take a look. And I think it may also be because I didn't actually put it into the Pennsylvania structure. Could be, I don't really know, but we'll look into it. But regardless, you guys get the idea, okay, of exactly how you do it manually, but you'd have to set up your, you'd have to, reputation management and calendar, is that what the reputation management? I don't know if it's there or not, but I'm not going to waste a ton of time. We do have one site that's sitting right in there of how we did it, and then it's in a proper silo, so you know that it works. Once again, like I said, that's the manual way of doing it, and it could be good. I mean, for instance, let's say if you were just going after a county, let's say, and you wanted to go after, different types of lawyers within that county, okay? But the manual process is going to take you a long time, okay? It's going to just take you a long time. So, once again, with that being said, you're going to want to get some tools. One of the cool tools out right now is S3Rp. Like I said, we went over the permalink structures. We went over some of the reasons why you're going to want to have everything set out in in some sort of structure in the back end. Each state, if you're going to target, let's say, just say major cities, right? So you could do, Alabama, if there are any major cities in Alabama, whatever. You do Pennsylvania, New York, California, New Jersey, whatever you want to do, and then put those local areas within that. It doesn't then preclude you from changing up your permalinks to set up a good structure, okay, and to set up your base tag and everything else, okay? It's ninth down on somebody's saying it's ninth down on their search already. Okay, so like I said, probably just got picked up, but once again, we didn't fit it into the silo at all, so we kind of broke out the whole structure, but it doesn't matter. The point was to show you, obviously, index assault works, as you can see that. All right, so let's push onward, because I told you guys this was going to be a long one, but I don't want to keep everybody here forever. All right, in reference to your theme, somebody was asking about themes before. Don't get fancy. Use a very light running theme. You can use, 2012, 2010, it doesn't really matter. Nobody gives a rat's ass what the website underneath looks like. You can overlay any beautiful site you want on top of it. It doesn't even need to be indexed by Google. That's how cool this is, okay? That's the great part about double agent. People get tied up and they're like, well, I want my theme to look great. Well, having a really awesome looking theme means that they probably have screwed a whole lot with the CSS, which is going to mess up, and you're going to have different parts. Like we've had people that had their menus sticking out on top of the double agent layover and stuff like that. So just keep it really, really, really clean, okay? All right. So basically you are done. Go ahead and start building, okay? We kind of covered like a ton of information. It looks maybe a little daunting for some people. It looks pretty easy for others, but I can tell you that it is a true rinse and repeat process. So for those of you that have SERP, okay, what you're going to basically do is you're going to invest in, a handful of domains. Start off with a handful. Don't buy like all 10 at the same time. Buy 3 or 4 domains, blow those out, move on with the next 3 or 4 domains. Now, one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, can I use the same exact keywords as my LSI for tag pages and stuff like that? Yes, you absolutely can, okay? You absolutely can. But what I would suggest is, for instance, let me bring up this page. So if I wanted to go after reputation management firms, on the next site that I build, I might actually put my short code or my thing like this. So it's just a hair different, okay? Or I might want to, rather than make it TX, I'll make it Texas. I can spin things up. I can have 20 different keywords and just pick and choose, what I want to be my different tag pages, and just mix it all up with all of them. It works really, really, really well. And somebody says, and you're leasing these, right? Yeah, we lease them. We put AdSense on them. We basically, any way that we know that we can make money with them, we do it. We have some clients that literally pay us to just say, dominate the entire niche, overlay it, and create that huge traffic funnel for me. We do it. Well, we could put AdSense on the site if we're not leasing it out at the current time. If we are going to lease it out, we then take the AdSense off. I don't want AdSense sitting out underneath my overlay for lots of reasons. I believe that AdSense has a quality score, just like AdWords does, and obviously none of your links will get clicked. And when Google's seeing a 0% click-through rate, my rating score is going to go lower. I'm going to get paid less. It's just not a good thing. So just take it off. All right. What's the time limit before putting AdSense on sites? I don't know. I like to let them index out just a little tiny bit, a couple of days, 4 or 5 days. Then I'll put the AdSense up. My last question is about the schema for all these sites. Do you create schema for the main page or for the whole site? It depends. You can create a schema markup and spin it out for each locality if you want to. If you're only trying to target one location, then just put the schema on the home page and you're good, because the home page should be the one that's ranking. If you're doing sites like this where you're just trying to hit all these little tiny small areas, you can put a schema markup on each page individually and spin it out. Okay? Frank missed it from the beginning. Can I just start over? You got it. Is Double Agent responsive? Double Agent is in fact responsive, but it does have an issue because apps have an issue on mobile devices. So it actually pushes forward somebody to, just like most mobile devices do, they'll actually redirect you to the mobile site. So Google does not have a problem with the redirect on the mobile aspect. It will have a problem with the redirection on a normal PC. All right, what is schema markup? We have a whole section on what schema markup is. There's a full training on it in the archive section on Seme Live. But basically, schema, for those of you that don't know, maybe there are people that don't want to ask, schema markup is when Bing, Yahoo, and Google all got together and said, we're going to use this type of code to understand this type of information. So whether it be authorship or whether it be location or whether it be recipes or books or whatever else, and it's all that fun little stuff that you see popping up, ratings, reviews, all that stuff that fun stuff you see popping up in the SERPs, the little stars, all that sort of stuff. Can you add AdSense Now plugin after you built your posts and index them? Just activate your plugin. Yep, that's exactly it. That's all you got to do. So once you have the site and it's indexed out and everything else, Google's found it, you literally go in. Let's see. You literally go in and I go into my plugins. I add new. I type in AdSense Now. I download the plugin, and that's it. Do you have a certain website where you use an overlay for AdSense? Nope, we don't use an overlay for AdSense because Google can't read the content that's sitting in the iframe by itself. So we actually don't do that. Do you have a certain website you use an overlay for AdSense? Okay, cool. Do you do multiple posts for each city with different post titles? Basically what we do is, no, we don't necessarily do that, Dave. What we do is we'll do one post for the main keyword and then all of our tag pages. So let me just go to posts here real fast, kind of show you what that looks like. All right, so you can see right here, this is what one of the posts looks like, okay, and it has all of my tag pages, which are right here, all of them for East Petersburg, Pennsylvania. It's get rid of bad reviews, online reputation management, remove negative reviews, reputation management firm, reputation management services, and all of them are targeted toward East Petersburg, Pennsylvania. So yes, technically it's multiple pages, but it's all being done for us with the use of tags. Let's see, all-in-one SEO plugin versus Yoast. It's really a personal preference at that point. It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I use all-in-one, but you could very easily use Yoast instead. I don't really have too much of an opinion on that. You have 1,600 posts here for a state with 1,600 posts here for a state with 8 cities. Yeah, actually, you are right, because when we do a state build, we actually build out 2 posts per city. Yes, you are 100% right on that. When we do a national, we only do 1 per location. When we do a state build, we actually do 2 per location. And if you go and you take a look at our tag pages, you'll see that we have 4,878 items. So yeah, when you total that all together, You know, yep, that's exactly it. So all the sites have the same register name, hosting IP, DNS. Just put them all in with Cloudflare, and we're good to go. Yeah, what we do is we put it on privacy. I mean, we don't want to be jackasses about it. We put the privacy on, and really that's more for other people poking around and saying, "Oh shit, this guy owns all of these domains." Google, you know, or goes to, you know, whatever, tries to screw you all up. Doesn't really matter. Even if they did, I'll have more sites up by lunchtime, so it doesn't bother me. Why 2 posts? We did 2 posts per city town just because we wanted to make the site a little bit bigger, because obviously the bigger your site is, the more authority you have. So that was the reason for that. UK a prob? UK is not a problem. I mean, like I said, the only thing is that we don't have our SERP landlord software set up to do the UK, but if you're using Surfshaker or whatever else, you can do the UK, no problem. Okay, for state building on Surfshaker, how do you build out 2 posts per city? To be honest with you, I'm not sure. Ask Don, because we use something slightly different than Surfshaker, but it's the premise is pretty much the same. So I would just ask Don. That's a good question. I see you guys. I see you guys throwing stuff on his Facebook page all the time. Domain name. I guess Steve, your question. Is UK a problem for the domain name? No, UK is not a problem for the domain name. It would still work exactly the same. What links are you creating for your posts? We're not. Oh, that's right. UK does not have privacy. I don't know. Steve, that's a really good question, just because we have not marketed there yet. That's a really good question. Yeah, you could. Is somebody saying that you could use .com for UK? Yeah, you could, but I also understand why you'd want to use the .co.uk. Once again, you got to deal with what you're dealt, right? So I don't know. Maybe in that case, you want to have different registrars for each one of the domain names. We just don't like to make it easy. That's all. Yeah, I know .org, .uk, same. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a workaround. You know, unfortunately. Yes, the UK. You blame the UK. They made that stupid rule, right? Yeah, just don't market the UK. Leave the UK out. Just market the .com. It still should show up there because you're targeting those areas and it's local. You know, definitely play around with it and check it out. All right, guys. Any other questions? So like I said, yeah, it's the same IP, it's the same hosting, it's the same everything. We turn privacy on. We like to buy our stuff through Namecheap. No, there's no secret, you know. Buy our stuff through Namecheap. They give you the free privacy. It costs me like $10 or maybe $10 and change. And boom, I'm off and dominating a niche. I mean, it's really that simple. Curated content, do you use it? Curated content? Nah, I mean, we were playing with a curated content model before. Now we're just spinning everything out and just finding that the results are better. That's the best answer I can give for that. A lot of people are going, I was making this way too complex. Exactly. It's not really that complex. Okay, now somebody is writing here. So Andrew, to confirm, you can use Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools on your money site, but not on your 2x double agent, correct? Exactly. Put it on your money site, who cares? But if you're going to build out one of these massive sites and you're going to stick Google Webmaster Tools on it because you're like, well, Google will tell me the keywords I'm ranking for. It's like asking Matt Cutts to come over to your house, have a glass of wine and say, hey, dude, check out how I'm screwing you guys, okay? We don't put anything remotely close to anything Google, anything except for AdSense, okay? And there's a reason why we do. Google AdSense doesn't seem to talk to the rest of the Google planet. It's the most amazing thing in the world. So we've never had any issues there. And like I said, I've been invited to more than enough Google AdSense events. One I was invited to, they loved, because my click-through ratio was so high, they were like, oh my God, Andrew, stand up, show everybody what you're doing with your website so people could change their websites and they can use the same thing. And they all did, and then a month later, we got hit with Google penalties saying that we had too many ads above the fold, which goes to show you that the spam team and the Google AdSense team doesn't talk. I picked up the phone, called my buddy on the Google AdSense team, was like, dude, what the hell is this? He's like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So once again, it doesn't matter. To confirm permalinks, yeah, I mean, I use on my permalinks, somebody's asking just to reconfirm the permalinks, I use this right now. I use that structure. Okay? Okay, so somebody's saying, if you're not going Google Analytics, you use Piwik. Piwik you can use. I know that some people had issues, some people don't. I don't use Google, okay? Google is the one you're gaming. You can't go to them and say, I want your tools to help me game you. You just can't do it. Somebody's saying get clicky.com. That works. You know, that's totally fine. Like I said, we build these sites, and I don't sit here and I don't look at them, okay? I just build them, and I build another one, and then I build another one, and I don't even look back. I'll go back and I'll sporadically check it just to see if the site is doing okay, and I just build another one. It's not worth my time to try and track these things. It's just not. I can understand that some people do want to track it. Once again, their situations are different than mine, but I just don't. Somebody is, hold on one second. Let me just scroll back up, see if I missed any major questions. Matt Cuts is a sex friend. Don't give him wine. He's a sex fiend. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't give him wine. I think he's actually away right now. Once you have SerpShaker site built, should we go ahead and create another page and build again, or move on to a new domain? I say you build onto a new domain, and then you can always go back to that. Just give that website a little bit of time to age. And you can always revisit it. You can you know, stick some more posts in there. Okay. Thanks for the tip on the tag pages. I keep getting tag rankings, but I hate seeing that in the SERPs. Exactly. So just switch it out. Just switch out. So I used to hate seeing the tags in the in the posts, and then I was like, why can't I just change that? It'd be great if WordPress had it. And I look and I'm like, shit, they do have it. So you know. Okay. Let me see. Does that include not using site colon? Now you can use, okay, somebody was asking about the site colon. If you're going to sit there and you're going to check site colon like multiple times a day, and you don't think it's going to raise a flag, it will. We've seen it happen, okay? Check it every once in a while, okay? Don't sit there and just keep checking it and checking it and checking it and checking it. It's unnatural. Google's going to look at that and say, okay, why is there a spike in this site colon for this stupid site? What's the deal with it? All right. Yep, you can change the category base as well if you wanted to, right above it. I do something a little bit different with my categories. I don't create a category base because I change them all to match one another, all of my categories, so I don't do the category base. Thanks, guys. Will there be a video on agent and shaker combination with a mind map? Tony, we'll speak to Don and see if we can make that happen. Can we change tags after sites have been de-indexed? Can we change tags after the sites have been indexed? I wouldn't. Once you're basically, you know, make sure that everything's good on your site before you index it out. That's just my personal feelings. David, Big Happy's asking if I'm going to make Frank put his clothes back on. Frank is actually the only webcam that I can see right now because he's streaming. Yeah, Frank, put your clothes back on. All right, guys, I think we're kind of reached the end of our limit here. We're now talking about Frank's pants. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this up here. Foreign language sites in the U.S. Yep, they work great. Somebody was saying, I think Jake actually came across Chimp Rewriter, which apparently does translations. So some people might want to check on that and get back to me because I would love to play around with that as well. Let's see. Frank just said, laugh out loud. I just checked real fast. Yep, Frank, we can see you. And that's about it, guys. What we're going to do is we will get the webinar going up. We will get the webinar going up soon. It does take a little while for the website to render, guys. Even though it starts to save on our side, it still has to render out. So sometimes, especially on a long webinar like this, it could take a while. It could take a couple of hours for it to all render out. But as soon as we have it available, we'll get it back up again, all right? Last question here. With all your local pages, do you just let Double Agent do all the work for you to get business, or do you actively recruit businesses yourself? Okay, this is a great question, and I'm going to leave on this one. If somebody says that you could put Double Agent on and it's going to solve all the issues and people are going to pull their credit cards out and they're going to come running to you and everything else, they're full of shit. It doesn't work like that. It's great to pick up some scaps here and there. It's great to show it as an example. It's great for them to demo out. After you've showed them, they can come back to the page and show their friends or their wives, hey, check this out. This is really cool. But I got to be honest with you. Nothing beats picking up the phone and making a phone call. And I can tell you this, a lot of people hate to make those phone calls. We're going to go over, how we do our sales and everything else. But I can tell you this, that when I pick up the phone and I call somebody, and I call, let's say if we have a lawyer site that's ranking, and I say, hey, listen, how would you like to be on page 1 for this term? And they go, look, I've gotten these phone calls. I'm really not interested. And I say, well, you already are. You want me to show you? They'll usually stop dead in their tracks and I was like, all right, fine, I'll bite. Show me. Do this search. They do the search, and I've already preloaded their website in there because I've done like a hair of research before I just picked up the phone. I went to their website. I got their domain name. I popped it in there. All right, you're going to see this in the search results. Click on it. They click on it. They see their website show up. Usually the response is, holy crap, how the hell did you do that? And my answer to them is, don't worry about how I do it. Do you want it to stay there? If you want it to stay there, then, here, it's going to be this much a month. If you don't want it to be there, then I completely understand, I've got other phone calls to make today. They don't want their competitors to get it, okay? But what people don't want is they don't want snake oil, and they don't want, to pay you a shitload of money, and then, with the sale of, oh, well, in a couple of months, you'll get some results. I can guarantee it. A lot of these guys have been burned before. They don't want to get burned again. If you could show them these instant results and say, okay, you know what? That was just one town. How would you like the entire state? And you can funnel through with Double Agent right here in the back. All right, I'm going to just go here real fast with the category overrides. Now, there's only going to be one category because we only set it up for Pennsylvania, but I could put right in here, lawyerdude.com, okay? And that whole state now will get funneled right to him. Now, with that being said, guys, don't put a URL in these massive sites straight up to your money site or straight out to a client site. You're going to kill them. You're going to crush them. This would be 5,800, however many posts we have. It would create that many links back to lawyerdude.com. Create a bit.ly link. Now, for those of you that don't know what a bit.ly link is, this is a bit.ly link. Go to bit.ly.com. Create an account. It's free. I can go here and I could do lawyerdude.com and it will shorten it. There's my link now. I take that link, I copy this, and I put it right into my Double Agent right here. Paste. Ah, shit, that didn't work. Okay, hold on one second. Look at me, I'm a jackass. I'm going to click copy, and I'm going to go here, and I'm not going to put in the post name. Boom, I'm done, okay? I click on update settings, and I'm all done, okay? That's the safest way to do this, okay? Because now what happens is those 5,900 links go back to one bit.ly link, and the one bit.ly link now is pointing to that money site, okay? And it's a no follow. So boom, done, okay? That's it. How do you report to each of them at the end of the month? I don't. Honestly, I don't report to my clients at the end of the month. They pull it up right in their analytics. If I have access to their analytics, I go right into the analytics and I go to referring pages and I pull up their report that way. And that's what we do. All right? Will bit.ly keep the money safe, the site safe? Yes, it will. And it won't keep it safe if you don't put it in there. And we like bit.ly because bit.ly is one of the largest URL shorteners on the planet. Okay, so they are literally having 2 billion links built a day using their shorteners. And so, you kind of stay under the radar. All right, guys, with that being said, like I rambled on here for we're going on almost 2 hours. So we're going to cut this. Yeah, even with bit.ly, it will, in the analytics, it will still show referrals from our site. Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, questions, post them in the forum. There were a couple of people that are having issues with index assault. Jake is actually looking at it. Apparently it's only certain servers. There's some sort of wacky permission issue where it's not posting the videos into the different posts. It is being looked into, but once again, it's happening sporadically. We do have a couple of people that have been having the issue, so we're just trying to nail down what the common cause of it is. And like I said, we're actively working on it, so give us a day or two, and hopefully we have the answer, all right? With that being said, any questions you guys have, post them in the forum, and we will speak to you guys soon, all right? Thanks, guys.